we are all absolutely dying to hear one of the great celebrities of our country, Padmashri Srimati Anuradha Paudwal, singer extraordinary, musician extraordinary, mainly someone who had allowed us to enjoy her wonderful music through the various popular songs in Bollywood. Although her virtuosity is limitless, she can sing any kind of songs, but perhaps some of us have identified very, very closely, very, very intensely with her spiritual songs, her bhajans, and all the spiritual songs that she has specialized in. Anuradha ji, welcome. And we have another beautiful lady with you, whom I'm sure you are going to introduce. Welcome to our platform, and we would love to hear you.
Thank you so much. Namaste. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Namaste, Babuji. Thank you for making me a part of this wonderful conference, the virtual conference, online conference. And thank you, Rahulji. I think Hemanji has pretty much taken the words out of our mouth, and he has voiced so many of our thoughts. Spirituality is, of course, the base of our Sanatan Dharma, and it is that which keeps us grounded in all the situations, pandemic or any other difficulties also. It is sadly we see a lot of people mixing up with spirituality and religion. Well, I feel that no matter what the religion, spirituality is the base of any religion, or it should be. I've been extremely fortunate to have a family who is extremely religious and spiritual by nature. Both my children, Aditya and Kavita. Kavita, whom I'm going to be soon going to introduce her, and she's taken up the same path. I would say the pandemic has taught us two very important things. One is how important it is to have a joint family. And having said that, it's like a buffer. You have the family to fall back upon in all sorts of crises, all sorts of difficult times. But at the same time, this pandemic has taught us a very, very important thing, that is how to live with yourself. And I think that is the most difficult thing, to live with yourself, because you have only yourself to answer. So these are the things I feel, and of course, with all these temples being closed, it has probably the gods have taught us that spirituality is not restricted to a particular religion. So it has also taught us to see the humanity and the spirituality in the doctors and the nurses and all those people in the public services who were helping us out, regardless of what caste or creed we belong to. Another thing, it has taught us that it's extremely, we had started abusing all the wealth or all the position that we had, and it is extremely necessary for us to live in moderation, however high we go or however low. So it has really made us very contemplative. And I would like to introduce you to my daughter Kavita. And I would really take this opportunity to say I'm extremely blessed to have a daughter like her, because she has been in the US for the last 5 years, that is 15 years back, and she worked in the UN. And the way she has conducted herself, and in spite of having lived in a Western country, that has not changed in the way she looks at spirituality. So she is a great pillar of strength for me. And I would like to introduce to you Kavita Paudwal Tulpure, who also has her dream, and it's a conviction that she would like to get the culture of yoga, other than yoga, the yoga, and introducing it as a curriculum in the colleges abroad, of course, if allowed in India also. But sometimes I feel it's much easier there. And I wanted to bless her and I wish her all the luck. Thank you very much. Kavita Paudwal Tulpure.
Thank you, Ma. Namaskar, everybody. I hope you all can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much again. That was such a wonderful introduction. Probably I don't deserve that much, but yes, I have been blessed and plentiful because I have a mother who is in place of my guru, and thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to represent Suryodaya Foundation also, which is a social initiative undertaken by Anuradha ji. I will be talking a little bit about it, and yes, but today, and I was told that we had to be talking about spirituality and music because there's an immediate association of Anuradha ji and थोड़ी बहुत मेरी भी एसोसिएशन म्यूजिक से ही बनी हुई है, बट आई थिंक जिन लोगों ने अनुराधा जी के भजन सुने हैं या उनके गाए हुए श्लोक सुने हैं उन्हें कोई एक्सप्लेनेशन देने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। जो अनुभूति उन्हें आती है उन शब्दों को सुनकर, जो भाव उनमें उमड़ आते हैं उन भजनों को सुनकर, आई थिंक that is what spirituality and music is. I really don't think I need to explain that further. But yes, I will be taking this opportunity and this wonderful platform with all of you people who are so evolved, who are so successful, and who are so aware of the need for spirituality in our lives, in our country, in this world. I would like to talk about something called active spirituality. Like all of you have mentioned before, अनुराधा जी ने भी बताया है कि कई बार हम लोग religion और spirituality में confuse हो जाते हैं. Every religion is basically a set of rules, a set of procedures, practices which we have followed over a period of time. And every religion ka jo end point hai, that is to reach divinity. But what I have realized is that people tend to get caught up and people tend to get lost in those processes. Of course, there is an upside to it because the families are getting together, people are getting together in a very positive kind of an atmosphere. So it's wonderful, but that's not the be all and the end all of it. और ये बात सिर्फ वही लोग समझ सकते हैं जो ईश्वर से प्रेम करते हैं. I think religion will lead only those people to spirituality who are in love with God, या परमात्मा, ईश्वर, आप जो भी उन्हें कहें. So today I would like to talk about something that is outside of religion, outside of spirituality. It is something called active spirituality. So why is it today that when humans have evolved so much, we are able to reach pretty much whatever planet, we are able to communicate, science and technology is all over the place, we are able to clone human beings, we are able to clone animals, we are trying to get to a place where you can regrow limbs, and when there's so much happening, why the need for spirituality? So I'm going to take an example of 3 different kinds of people, because generally when I was in the US and I would have these conversations with my friends about what the Indian philosophy is, what Sanatan is about. तो वो कहते थे, अच्छा, so how come it's only people in India who need all of this? There are people in the US and there are people in Europe, and how come they survive very well without philosophy? Which is why I'm particularly taking these 3 examples. So the first example would be of a student, okay, a student, probably because a lot of Indian children also today study in Ivy League schools, they go there even for undergrad, they go grad school तो है ही, but undergrad के लिए भी वहाँ पर जाते हैं. So why would a child, who is going to an Ivy League school, why would he require spirituality? It seems like everything is pretty much set up for him. What he would probably require is a career trajectory. Okay, he would need to get into a good organization which will take him places, falana. तो ये हुआ एक part. Then I go to the complete other end of the spectrum, which is आपको पता ही है कि कुछ सालों पहले there was this horrible thing where farmers, were taking up their own lives because they were unable to pay off loans as little as 50,000, 1 lakh. उनको spirituality की क्या जरूरत है? Logically speaking, they needed the money to pay off their loans so they could get on with life and pray for better rainfall next year. What about the children of those farmers? उनको spirituality की क्या जरूरत थी? They needed to have their parents alive. They needed food. They needed education, so they don't have to go through the same troubles that their parents went through. So एक ये हुआ, और बीच वाला जो section है, which I think is people like you and me. It's unfortunate because sometimes the biggest problem in our day is how to get from point A to point B without getting into a traffic jam. It's sad, but sometimes that becomes the biggest, that becomes the high point of the day. Or, oh my God, I've lost network. Now what do I do? So where in सब में spirituality कहाँ पर आता है? Is it can we say कि इन सब का solution spirituality में है? I don't know. Let's find out. So according to me, spirituality is like nature. Now, this is something that my mom had pointed out to me while saying something else. But today, when I sat and I thought I should be talking about a few things, what I realized is that the spirituality that we really need to reach out to is like nature. Why nature? Because nature intrinsically does not change. Okay. We are not talking about climate change, weather change. Nature basically जो है वही है. करोड़ों वर्षों से जैसा है वैसे है. Evolve हो रहा है, but it has not changed. Another thing is nature does not give knee-jerk reactions. Nature never reacts. Nature gracefully responds. What does nature respond to? Nature responds to your and my actions. Okay. If there is global warming happening today, it is because of human activity. अगर 6-8 महीने लॉकडाउन होने के बाद अगर रास्ते पर मोर नाच रहे थे तो वो भी ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी कम होने से ही है. So this is nature's, nature is not the sort. जैसे कल को अगर मेरी बेटी मुझे आकर कहती है मॉम I want to go out with my friends, and I say no. Nature doesn't do that. Nature doesn't do a knee-jerk reaction. Okay, nature responds very peacefully. I feel that is what spirituality is. हम और आप और हर living organism के अंदर वो एक ऐसी चीज है, जो बहुत स्थिर है. Okay, it does not intrinsically change. It remains the same, and it never reacts. It responds. Okay. I feel that if we are able to reach out to that part of us, okay, which is able to actually take a minute, not give a knee-jerk reaction, not give an emotional outburst to every situation, or not give an emotional outburst to the person sitting next to you. I think that is the kind of spirituality that we need. That is the kind of unchanging, intrinsic, जो हमारे अंदर है, हमें उसे ढूंढना है. Also, I feel that this, so ye hua religion, ye hua spirituality. Now we come to something called active spirituality, which actually is the need of the day. Active spirituality is that when each of us discovers that common unchanging element within us, it is only a part of a higher element. जिसे हम परमेश्वर कहते हैं, जिसे हम परमात्मा कहते हैं, उस आत्मा का हम भाग हैं. और जिस दिन हर एक इंसान को अपने अंदर की आत्मा में परमात्मा दिखने लगा, that is the time he connects to that consciousness. And it is that consciousness that helps each one of us do the right thing at the right time, give the right reactions, receive the right kind of help from the right kind of people. So I feel, again, coming back to those 3 examples of the students and of the farmers and of you and me, probably if the student early on in life is able to connect with his intrinsic unchanging nature, maybe aage jaakar he will take a job, okay, which will not only help him get on the cover of a Time magazine, but it will also help him change the lives of people. And this is something that happens only when that command comes from the higher consciousness. Probably this same higher consciousness will stop that farmer from taking that knee-jerk extreme step The same higher consciousness will reach out to the conscience of a business person who will help this farmer pay off his loan, or reach out to the consciousness of people who run institutions who can help with water. Please don't misunderstand. I'm not undermining the farmer's plight. I'm not using it as an example just to further my cause or to talk about here. I know it is a very big problem, and but I just feel that sometimes it is that one split second that stops you from doing the right or the wrong thing. And ये जो बुद्धि हमें आती है to actually think about what is right and wrong, it happens only when you take a minute and you connect to your inner self. And I feel, the universal conscience, which tells your conscience to stop and think. Okay, so and I feel this active spirituality is dharma. इसी को धर्म कहते हैं कि आपको कब कौन सी चीज कितनी मात्रा में करनी है, किसके साथ करनी है, क्यों करनी है, ये जो रियलाइजेशन है, यही तो धर्म है और यही हमारा सनातन धर्म है. This is what religion has tried to teach us. But जैसे there was a beautiful saying by रजनीश ओशो कि मैं तुम्हें चांद दिखा रहा हूँ और तुम केवल मेरी उंगली देख रहे हो. So where we actually need to reach is something else, and we can reach by taking baby steps. वो steps लेने में जो हमें help करेगा वो है हमारा अपना conscience. So this is active spirituality, which is the need of the hour, also something that we know as dharma, something that each one of us need to do as a part of this collective universe. So I will just sum up all of this with 2-3 small examples. One is, yes, very much like my mother said, I feel that the ability to connect with the self and the ability to make yourself responsible for everything that is happening around you in a good way. I'm not saying मेरी वजह से ये गलत हुआ, नहीं, मैं इसे सही कर सकता हूँ, ये जो सोचने की क्षमता है, this is something that should be taught to us when we are very young. Not
Yes, very
everyone
much
is
like
fortunate enough to be, not everyone is fortunate enough to have this. I'm sorry, somebody has unmuted themselves. Yeah, right. So I'm towards the end of what I'm about to say. The reason I feel that yoga, Bhagavad Gita, when I mean yoga, I don't mean only asanas. I mean the entire philosophy of yoga, the ability to live right, the ability to be an optimal person is something that should be introduced in schools all over the world. Because I feel a child who grows up, जिसे आदत हो जाती है बचपन से कि नहीं कोई चीज knee jerk reaction नहीं करनी, सोच समझ के करनी है, he will automatically grow into a healthy adult, into a happy adult. And I'm not saying that all of this will end up like a Suraj Bhattacharya movie or an Enid Blyton book, though I love both of them and I appreciate their ability to see the good in everything. But even if one of us can make the change and affect 2 people, and those 2 people can affect another 4 people, I think we've at least started somewhere. And I think the pandemic situation and COVID has made it very clear that I think humanity has united in its fallacy. Humanity has united because they've realized that we are not invincible. We can do a lot of things, but if nature cracks a whip, it's you come down to basics where you need to do nothing but just stay put. So I think we should really use this opportunity to look within ourselves, and not only ourselves, teach these things to our children, because they are the ones, and they are far more receptible than people who have already been conditioned with ideas. Which is why I feel it's very important to introduce these philosophies at school levels, and children should be made to practice कि नहीं ये आपको करना है. You need to come and tell me how you have helped a person in this week. What good have you done for a person? Another thing, about the family, about being with the family, they need to be graded for these things. They need to be told, what have you done for your mother today, or what have you done for your father today? Come and tell me. You know, it's these things उन्हें आदत होने लगेगी, and it will just become a way of life for them. Something that has been taught to us through scriptures will become a way of life. Anyway, so I think once again, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity, for this amazing platform. I'm eternally grateful to my mother for just being my mother, and giving me everything, you know, that I had ever imagined, asked for, and also this bent of mind, where you know, where I want to appreciate everything that has been given to me. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Kavita ji, Anuradha ji, thank you so much
you.
for
Thank
being
you very
with us. We just have we have thousands of people watching this, and we have had some questions from them. So with your permission, I would like to share one of them. Many people have particularly wanted to know that you have a special affinity for singing spiritual songs, and
Yes.
while singing a bhajan or any other kind of spiritual song, have you had a particular spiritual experience while singing it?
Well, from my childhood, I was always, I was spiritual by nature. Uh, my family, it was a very small family. We were not very, my parents were not very religious, but we were very spiritual. They were very spiritual. And I grew up in that way. And I, it may seem very strange, but I never had affinity for the film line as such. But once I got in, yes, absolutely, because I entered the film line also with the Shiv Stuti. Then I sang a lot of songs for about 12 years. And after that, I was a bit restless, and I happened to go to Dakshineshwar temple. Babuji knows that because
Right.
he's also a devotee of Ma Kali. And the Pandit ji said, ki Anuradha ek Ma ka bhajan gao. And I was in tears because I realized that in the 12 long years that she had given me so much success and so many songs, not a single bhajan was dedicated to her. I had not sung a single bhajan. And I was in tears, or in that spurt of that particular moment, I just asked her, I said, Ma, bless me. I'm so sorry, I should have done this long back, but please bless me. मेरे से इतनी तुम्हारी स्तुति गवा लेना कि मतलब हिंदुओं के जितने मंदिर है उस हर मंदिर के साथ मेरा चेहरा और नाम जोड़ देना. This is something that I just, on the spur of the moment. And it actually happened that starting from Durga Saptashati, I went out to sing, and then I had, this is what I had told Ma. I said, not that I'm very fond of the film industry, but I don't want to get out of the film industry, when I'm not singing so many songs or where I'm not that successful. But the day I'm number one in film industry, मैं खुद अपने हाथों से तुम्हारे चरणों पे छोड़ दूंगी. And then of course I started getting those. I was in a company, T series, आप जानते हैं, जो नॉर्थ में जिनका मंदिरों के साथ इतना ज्यादा उनका लगाव था और इतना ज्यादा कनेक्शन था, एंड वीडियोस, इन हाउस वीडियोस होते थे. सो वी बहुत ज्यादा हम लोगों ने रिकॉर्डिंग्स किए. And the one thing I want to tell you that there are not one or two, there are innumerable incidents that I experienced while I was recording all this. I mean, it just became my DNA, So anything, whenever even today, whenever I go and sit on a stage, it's like just जैसे हम plug in करते हैं वैसे I just connect to Ma. This is, I think this is my guru's and her special blessings for me to connect like that, because I have gone through a lot of ups and downs. My life has been like a roller coaster ride.
Roller coaster.
Absolutely roller coaster ride. And at the end of it, I can say that if I'm today in one piece, it's only thanks to the spirituality. She has taken care of everything. Baki to there are so many things, you know. बहुत सारे अनुभव, बहुत ज्यादा अनुभव आए हैं, which I think यहाँ पे डिस्कस करने के लिए टाइम बहुत कम है. कम इसलिए है because there are so many other speakers also. But yes, definitely, क्योंकि मतलब you can't be away from these experiences when you're in front of the Lord.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing so candidly with us. And of course, the blessings will always be with you. Kavita ji, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.